Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dallas Daily Show podcast. You know, it's my favorite time of the week. It is the Midweek Mind Shift. And today we're going to be talking about rebuilding self-trust through future you. All right, let's get into the conversation. I don't know about you, but I have broken plenty of promises to myself in my life. I have broken a lot of promises to myself where I've said things like I'll start again on Monday. I need to get back on the horse. I need to continue to do the stuff. You know, if that's you, just let me know on that. And what we typically tell ourselves is that we have a discipline problem. Oh no, I have a discipline problem. I have no willpower. I have no self discipline. That's actually not the case. What we actually are going to learn today in the conversation is it's not an issue necessarily of discipline or willpower, because the truth is, and you've heard me ask this question on the pod in the past, everybody, is the question becomes, when will power run out on your willpower? So it's not actually that we have a discipline problem. What we're going to find today is we actually have a little bit of a self-trust problem. And self-trust is one of those things. We didn't break it last night. If you broke on it last night, that wasn't the first time, right? So we know, though, that if we didn't break it just once last night, we can actually, if it wasn't built in a day, we can actually rebuild it. We can build trust with ourselves faster than we think. So we're going to unpack why we keep kind of falling off on our goals, falling off on our self-development. We're going to learn how to stop it. And then we're going to learn how to anchor to the future version of us on that. So on these podcasts, for those of you who are newer to the pods, we do have in the show notes, we have the entire midweek mind shift, like groundwork of, there's basically two versions of future you. And I'm not going to unpack this very long today because you're very aware of this at this point. There's two versions of future you out there in the future you, and you can get on one of the two trajectories. Number one, there's a future you that you want to avoid. This is a version of you that's sick, broke, unhealthy, bad relationships, dumb, whatever you want to call it, right? There's this version of you that when you go, man, I don't want to arrive at this, and yet somehow I have kept over the past few years finding myself on this trajectory. That's the future you that you want to avoid. On the other side is a future you that you want to arrive at. This is the future version of you that's healthy, that's happy, that's whole, that has thriving relationships, that has the financial situations you want, that has the reality you want, that you could be the grandpa or the grandma that's like, I'm the one who plays with the kids. I'm the one who's super active. I'm not in a walker. Instead, I'm wheeling around on a motorcycle with them, whatever it is for you, right? There's two versions out there that exist. And based on your decisions today, that'll put you on one of the two trajectories. So the entire Mind Shift series we talk about is building out a version of a future you that you can see clearly, that you can feel that person, that you begin to speak about that person, that you begin to trust and build that person into your present reality. Not all the old stuff and the crap and the garbage from the past. Because a lot of us build our lives on the beliefs of the past. We call it a paradigm. We call it subconscious programming. And we take all those beliefs and all the things that were said about us when we were a kid, all the things that the teachers and the parents and the siblings and the friends used to say to us, or the beliefs that were instilled in us about religion or economics or politics or you name it, right? We take all that stuff and we've built a worldview, a paradigm, and from that, we've built a life that we now have. Well, if we're not happy with that life, we can't keep just trying to adjust our present behaviors. We actually have to begin to examine, where did I get that thought in the first place? And that's where the rewriting comes in, because you trust your own voice. I was reading in Bob Proctor's Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life this week, which, by the way, it's my 15th reading of that book. And one of the things he said is the power script that you develop for yourself is actually really key, and it's really crucial, and it's really important because you trust your own voice. So since we naturally have a bent to trust our own voice, how many times have we lied to ourselves and lost some of that trust, right? How many times have we said, I'll wake up early tomorrow. I'll start eating clean on Monday. Oh, just one more scroll of my phone and then I'll go to bed. Or, oh, just one more this and then I'll go to work, right? See, every time we tell ourselves things like that, we don't follow through on those little mini promises. What we're doing is we're actually kind of withdrawing from the self-trust bank, right? And the other thing we need to remember is our subconscious is keeping score of all of this. Your subconscious isn't listening to what you say, it's actually watching what you do. So when you say, I'll just do this, and you do the opposite, what you've done is you've withdrawn from the trust bank, and you've also wired into your subconscious, we don't actually need to listen to that. I can't actually trust me, right? So what happens over time is, yes, occasionally we'll pull ourselves back up by the bootstraps. Occasionally, once we get in, and we talk on this pod all the time about the trigger belief behavior downward spiral of that. You get triggered into something, you fall into an old belief, and you fall into these sedation behaviors. When you get caught in that loop over and over and over again, you do climb yourself out, and that's when you use your willpower to pull yourself up by your bootstrap. I don't like living in the bottom of this pit here, so I'm going to pull myself up. Oh, crap, I got triggered again, fell down, old belief, oh, down in the bottom of the barrel again. Let me pull myself up, and then, here we go again, over and over, putting us on a trajectory toward a future we don't want to be. And every time we do the pull-up or the push-up or the willpower, it goes back to that question I asked at the very beginning. When will power run out on your willpower? Because you keep wiring yourself up and tangling the wires in this old trigger belief behavior loop. So right now in your own mind here, just as you're listening to this, if you're here with the live recording, if you're listening later while you're doing a chore, or maybe you're at the gym, good on you if you are, or maybe you're listening to it in your car or whatever, I just want you to take a moment and I want you to ask yourself, what are the small little promises I keep breaking with me? What are the little death by 1,000 small cuts that I keep doing in my own life? Where do I keep hesitating? Where do I keep self-sabotaging? Where do I tell myself this is who I want to be, but I know in reality it's just not who, so I feel lost in that imposter syndrome? See, your past is going to determine your present. And you're going to get those same results over and over again. And you're going to live with those consequences over and over again. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to keep building a reputation with yourself that you can't be trusted. And although we should be able to trust our own voice, as Bob Proctor says, it's the voice that we've had with us from the beginning of our lives, right? From the first moment we started learning our language, that voice started saying things to us. I could be this, I could be that, I could be this, but I broke a promise, and I broke a promise, and I broke a promise. How many times have you downloaded the next app to count the calories? How many times have you said, tomorrow I'll start budgeting? How many times have you actually built the reputation with yourself that you can't be trusted? Well, here's what we're going to find out. We're going to discover that the reason we can't trust ourselves is because we are building off of a past reputation. However, my friends, there is a version of you out there that can be trusted. Not your past, not your present. That's right, you guessed it. If you've listened to this pod for any length of time, you know what I'm about to say. The version of you that can be trusted is the future you. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But first, let's check in with our sponsors. This episode of the Mind Shift is actually brought to you by the Shed Fat Fast program. Look, if your belly has been hanging around like it pays rent, it's time to listen up, my friends. Joel Staley, his Shed Fat Fast program has helped now over 1,400 professionals drop 25 to 50 pounds within 12 weeks. I am not kidding, 25 to 50 pounds within 12 weeks, and he uses a specified fasting protocol that actually works. No 16 and 8s and none of that stuff. No weird shakes, no rabbit food, no 6 tiny meals nonsense. I'm in the program right now, and trust me, it's not hype. It's results. And I still get to eat my ribeye steaks. So go ahead, hit up shedfatfast.com right now for a free training that Joel has. Again, that's shedfatfast.com. And when you reach out to Joel, be sure and let him know that you heard about it at the Dallas Daily Show. A big thanks to Greg Iverson and his all-star team at Neighborhood Loans. They're the official studio sponsor of the Dallas Daily Show and the Midweek MindSHIFT series. My friends, whether you're looking to buy your first home, whether you're refinancing your dream home, or if you're looking to get into acquisition or management of investment real estate, Greg's team, they're the real deal. They're fast, they're kind, they provide coaching and training for you, and most importantly, they actually return your calls. That's huge, right? And even though we're here in the St. Louis, Missouri area, Greg's team works nationwide. So be sure and check them out. We've got them in the show notes, but theiversongroup.com. Again, that website is theiversongroup.com, or just give them a call at 314-658-9400. Again, that's 314-658-9400. It's time to invest in your future with the Iverson Group. All right, so this trust and building this trust is very important, and we have to understand that, again, past you is biased. Past you is biased by past failures, by a lack of vision. See, one of the things we don't think about is that the past only has memories. The past has no vision of where it can go. So when we're looking back to the past and when we're falling back into that, we have memories of failure, memories that we use as evidence for future results. And that's actually not what's happening. Your past job was simply you survived through it, but your past doesn't lead you into your future. And that's a shift that we need to make in our thinking. Now, your present you, here's the crazy thing about that one. So the past is biased by a failure, and the present you is very weak with temptation. Your present you is going to want comfort. It's going to want its wants. It's going to want all the shortcuts. It's going to want the short dopamine fixes. The present you is easily seduced. All right. We talked about this a couple months ago now on that book, The Pleasure Trap, and that you basically want reward, you want safety, you want like low energy output. We are wired in such a way that we're looking for high dopaminic rewards with very little effort. Right. And then that's how a lot of people get caught in the pleasure trap, especially with devices like our mobile phones. And we can just doom scroll for hours. We're getting short little dopamine hits and we're giving ourselves short-term comfort. But what we don't realize is all of those shortcuts, all of those things are seducing us into breaking the promises that we've given ourselves. So past you is biased. Present you is weak. What's the strongest version of you? It's the version of you that you're becoming. It's the version of you, should I say it like this, that you want to become. Okay? That's the most trustworthy version of you. See, the future you out there of who you want to be, they have a vision for where present you should be going. Future you believes in the possibility that present you can get to that destination. Future you is fully integrated in all four areas of your life: the spiritual, the physical, the relational, the professional / financial, right? And if you need me to redefine these really quickly, let me go ahead and define them for you. The spiritual side of you is that balance of your inner and outer world. That's how that works. All right. So I'm not talking specifically to a particular faith or anything. There's a spiritual side of you, which is the balance of your internal and external world. Okay. The physical you is not just the movement and exercise. It's also how you fuel your body, the nutrition and things like that. The relational you is how you interact with your core circle of could be your spouse and your children or your close friends, a little bit out from there, then more of your network, your coworkers, and then eventually all of these acquaintances and stuff. But all of that has to be in balance. And those three areas, spiritual, physical, relational, they bleed over into the professional you, which is the version of you, how you show up in the rest of the world and how you make the rest of your world work, seemingly. I'd like to propose to you, though, that the professional side will not work as efficiently if your relationships are a mess, if your physical life is a mess, and if your spiritual life is in turmoil. If that inner world is out of balance. Okay. So when we talk about future you, it's a fully integrated version of you. It's a version of you in which spiritual, physical, relational, professional all are interacting to make you be your best, highest self. Okay. So future you sees what's possible for you. Future you has a vision. Past you only has memories. Present you only has struggles. Future you has a vision. So the more that you build out this picture of who future you is, and the more you get in alignment with that. See, the mind shift that we talk about, mindset is like, oh, I've got this mindset that I currently have, and I want to make changes in my mindset. And that's you trying to make little adjustments in your present self. The mind shift is actually, no. Who is this future version of me? How do they believe? How do they behave? And how can I, in my present, align and actually start to like download that new operating system from future me? I know that sounds crazy. It sounds a little woo-woo. I'm telling you, all the science bends in this direction. That building a compelling picture of a future and then behaving like that person in your present amazingly puts you on a trajectory and an alignment of that future version of you. And that version you can trust, because that version isn't dealing with the present stuff. That version of you doesn't have a history of breaking promises to present you. That version of you has all these promises for present you to take hold of. All right. So the more you act in alignment with future you, the more you can build trust in yourself. So take a moment. We've already talked about some of the places you've broken trust. Take a moment right now and say, all right, if those are places I've broken trust, how can I begin to build more trust in there? I'm going to give you just a couple of quick steps on how you can do that here in our last few minutes. Number one, a practical path to rebuilding self-trust with future you is to start small. You want to build micro promises and get micro wins, and micro promises and micro wins will build ultimately macro levels of trust with future you. So you start small, right? You tell yourself one thing that you'll do, and you're going to do it consistently for a week, and you're not going to fall off on Saturday. You're not going to fall off on Sunday. See, we make these big, huge promises on Sunday after we've had a bad weekend. Oh, I'll start again on Monday. No. What's the one thing you can do? Is it 20 ounces of water in the first 5 minutes? Is it getting down and doing 10 push-ups as soon as you wake up, even before you pee, right? What's the one small thing that you can do for yourself that will build trust every morning? Because if you can commit to it and if you can complete it, then you can become more confident in it. Completing the commitment will build confidence. And then you can start building confidence in other things, right? You can, if you want, build a journal out. One of the things that I think is very important, we had her on about a month ago. My business coach, one of my business mentors, Tessa Greenspan, she's always talking to me about my gratitude journal, but she calls it my win journal. She's like, hey, write that down as a win. Oh, Tessa, I did this week. Oh, did you write that down as a win? No, I did not. Put it in your win journal. And maybe your win journal is just on your phone. And all you do is you say to your phone, you dictate a note. You say, hey, take a note, whatever your phone's name is, minus SIRI. But if I say it, she's going to ding right now because she's right there timing me. But you say, hey, SIRI, right? Take a note. And when she goes, what would you like the note to say? You can say, win. Today, I did yada, yada, yada. And you give yourself a win. And then on Saturdays, if you're struggling, or on Friday nights, if you're struggling, or on Sundays, if you're like, I got another week in front of me, open up your phone, look at the notes and go, win, 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 win. Oh my gosh. You will actually build up a positive reward in your mind. Boom. Here are wins I had. And the more wins that you track, the more wind you get in your sails. Pun intended, dad joke. There you go, right? So number one, you got to start small. Micro promises, micro wins, micro consistency, you build consistency. Number two, you keep some kind of win journal or gratitude journal. You can do gratitude at the end of the day, but I personally think this idea of putting wins in your notepad, the moment they happen. I actually think that's brilliant. I'm going to just tell you, and I just came up with it now on the pod. Breaking news. There you go, right? Here's a third thing you can do. You can actually speak to yourself out loud when you get in the car, or when you first wake up in the morning, or when you look at your mirror right before you brush your teeth first thing. You say, I will do blank today because future me needs me to. There's nothing silly in this, guys. It sounds silly, sure. And if you don't trust yourself, it's going to sound even sillier. But if you look at yourself and with a smile, you go, hey, Dallas, we're going to do this today because future us relies on it. Hey, John. Hey, Kathy. Whatever. Hey, future us is relying on you. Let's get them, champ. And go at it. See, often we look at ourselves and we kind of can despise the person we see in the mirror. But what might happen if we actually started to use that person in the mirror as like a, come on, pal. You got this today. Let's go. Let's go, right? The old Tom Brady, let's go sort of thing. You say it out loud to yourself. So number one, start small, micro promises, micro wins, macro trust. Number two, keep that win journal or keep the wins in your note. Number three, say it out loud to yourself. Give yourself that promise out loud. All right. And then here's the fourth one. And I think this is really important. Design your day. This is kind of a bigger one, but you're going to design your day from how future you would behave. See, a lot of us plan our time and like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. What would happen if we actually started looking at our day and go, oh, today I'm going to make sure future me gets the exercise I need. Today, I'm going to make sure that I get the proper nutrition that I need. Today, I'm going to make sure to balance my spiritual world inside and out. What might happen if we quit packing our calendar with all the to-dos, the have-to-dos, the need-to-dos, right? And we actually started building it out from a want to become. Here's who I want to become. Future me behaves like this. Future me makes dinner for my family 4 nights a week, and we sit around the table 4 nights a week. How can I build my day in such a way that I could actually make that happen now? Future me loves having block times where I get up early and I have my quiet time and I have my exercise time and I get ready to roll, and then I get the kids out the door and we have time around the family table for breakfast. That's what future me gets to do. Why wouldn't present me adopt that? See, we're always saying one day I will. Then when this happens, then I'll get to do that. What might happen if instead of one day I will, what if we just go, nah, I'm going to start designing my days around what I want to do, because that's ultimately going to put myself on the future trajectory anyway. Big thought, weird thought. And immediately some defenses might come up in your brain and go, yeah, but my work schedule. But no, I can't really do this. Well, the kids are out of the. Stop. That's your past you building on memories of why it's not possible. Ask your future you, how could this be possible? Huge difference in the shift. What would future you already have in place? All right, my friends, that's it. That's all I got for you here. So number one, you're going to build those micro wins. Number two, start keeping that win journal, right? Micro wins, win journal. You're going to start to speak the wins out to yourself out loud. And then number four, you actually want to design your days as a win from the future you. 4 wins all in a row. Imagine that. Just imagine for a second what that would feel like, what it would absolutely reshape your life like. That's the mind shift. That's the change. That's the transformation. And that, my friends, is how you go out there and have a championship day. Now, that's usually my hook at the very end, but I want you to have a championship day. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're interested in building out the picture of future you, you know the website, the notes are in the show notes below. It is futureyou5day.com. I've got a 5-day, 30 minutes a day, not much, 30 minutes a day, 5-day course for you. Future you, the number 5 day, futureyou5day.com. That's available for you. Also, if you're interested in actually balancing some of the spiritual world, we also host the Entrepreneur Bible Study every Monday at noon Central. That's entrepreneuribiblestudy.com. for that, and you can come join us. Those are live trainings where I'm in the room with you, or you can join us at futureyou5day.com. Check out that course. Go out there today, my friends. Win in every way possible. Connect to future you, have the mind shift, and have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.